Hi everyone, welcome to EndasEnglishNotes.com, where in this video we'll look at Act 3, Scene 3 from Romeo and Juliet. So Act 3, Scene 1 was where Romeo killed Tybalt. Act 3, Scene 2 is where Juliet finds out the news. So in this scene we're going to look and see how Romeo reacts to the news of his banishment from Verona. Okay, so we're in Friar Lawrence's cell. Romeo is in Friar Lawrence's cell waiting to hear the verdict from the prince. The friar tells him that he has been banished, but not sentenced to death. For exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death, do not say banishment. Okay, so Romeo's first instinct was that banishment is worse than death. Okay, exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. So basically, being exiled is worse than being sentenced to death. Romeo was devastated at this news and preferred to be sentenced to death. There is no world without Verona walls. Okay, he's saying there is that he cannot see a world that he can exist in outside of Verona. And I think Shakespeare, he may be commenting on, we as humans, we often think the place where we live is the be-all and end-all, that there is nowhere outside of it. Okay, maybe he's trying to show that the world is a big place, but in our own minds, we make it quite small. Okay, the friar tries to get Romeo to see that the prince was being merciful and saved Romeo's life, but Romeo responds, heaven is here where Juliet lives. Okay, so he's using a metaphor here of Verona that it's heaven because Juliet is here. I suppose she's been described like an angel there who resides in heaven. He says even the little mice can stay in Verona and look at her, but he can't. Romeo asks the friar if he can kill him. Hadst thou no poison mixed, no sharp ground knife? Okay, again, you see the reaction of both Romeo and Juliet. When obstacles are put in their path or when things get tough, their automatic instinct is to think about taking their own life. Okay, and again, it's a form of foreshadowing. Okay, so the friar, as he does throughout the play, comes up with a plan. While trying to get Romeo to see that things aren't too bad, they are interrupted by the nurse. Romeo asks the nurse how Juliet is, and when he hears that she is in a state of mourning, he asks the friar where in his body his name is located so he can rip it out. "In what vile part of this anatomy doth my name lodge?" So the Act 2, Scene 2 on the balcony, we had how important names are and the importance and or lack of importance that names have. And here Romeo was saying he wants to tear out his name, the Montague name and the Romeo name from his body. He wants to rip it out so that he's not this person that killed Tybalt. The friar gives a long speech condemning Romeo for how he is acting. He says that he is lucky he is alive, lucky he has not been sentenced to death, and lucky to have a wife waiting for him. Okay, so the friar there is trying to get him to look at the positives, trying to show him that things aren't that bad. And I suppose, again, highlighting, as humans, when things are bad, we often think they're worse than they are. We see the negative, and we need someone like the friar to come in and say, well, here, look at the positives. He then tells him to go to Juliet, and in the morning he must flee to Mantua, where they will make the marriage public and put an end to the feud between the two families. Okay, so Romeo can't come up with any plans himself. He's dramatic. He talks about killing himself, all that. But the friar, much more in control, and he says, go to Juliet and flee in the morning, go to Mantua, a nearby town, and he will put in place a plan, okay, so that will end the feud. Okay, the friar's plan continued. When news of the marriage and the end of the feud is announced, the friar will ask the prince to pardon Romeo and allow him back to Verona, where he will be reunited with Juliet. The nurse gives Romeo the ring from Juliet, and they both leave to go towards Juliet, who is waiting for Romeo. The friar warns Romeo that he must leave by morning or else disguise himself as he leaves, and that he will send a messenger to him in Mantua, updating him on the plan. Romeo leaves, saying he is going to experience the greatest joy of all, but is sad that he must leave in such a rush. Okay, so that's Act 3, Scene 3. Okay, so if you liked the video, please hit like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you.